SEALSQ, ticker symbol LAES, just made an interesting announcement. And shout out to the Prophecy AI app and Claude, giving it a 1-year bullish projection with a price target of $3.74. And we're currently up on the day 2.5%. Currently, the share price is at $3.28. Now, this article right here that came out 3 days ago on June 5th, it states that SEALSQ, again, the headlines right there, is that SEALSQ announces targeted investments and acquisitions and strategic partnerships across the quantum computing sector through 2026 and beyond. And depending on how all this unfolds, this could either be a major growth catalyst or create new concerns surrounding dilution and execution. So in this video, I want to break down what was said in this article. I want to go over the bullish case, all the bull case thesis and the bear case thesis for this stock, and what you and I as investors or people interested in SEALSQ should be watching moving forward for the stock for the rest of the year, 2026 and beyond. And this past week, or the past few days, I was reviewing the announcement that SEALSQ made, and one thing immediately stood out to me. It's the fact that this isn't a contract announcement and this isn't some type of earnings report, but what it is management telling investors where they want the company, where they wish or where they desire to take the company next. And if you are a shareholder for SEALSQ, you should probably pay attention to this, because management, what it appears to be what they're signaling to their investors is a willingness to grow through acquisitions and strategic investments rather than relying solely on organic growth. Not that there's anything wrong with organic growth, but it does show that they're trying to make big moves for the company, is all I'm saying. And according to the announcement, SEALSQ plans to continue evaluating investments, acquisitions, and partnerships across leading quantum computing companies through 2026 and beyond. Now, what's important here is that the company didn't announce a complete acquisition. In other words, management is signaling the direction that they want to go. And the reason investors care about this is simple. Quantum computing is still an emerging industry and talent is scarce. So technology can be pretty difficult to develop, and commercialization remains a challenge. If SEALSQ can acquire expertise, technology, or strategic partnerships, it could potentially accelerate growth much faster than building everything internally. And my bad, guys, I accidentally clicked off of the article. But the bull case for the stock, and what I believe what makes investors optimistic for SEALSQ is the fact that a successful acquisition strategy could accelerate access to quantum expertise, reduce development timelines, strengthen industry partnerships, improve competitive positioning, and speed up commercialization. So, in simpler terms, basically, instead of taking years to develop capabilities internally, SEALSQ could potentially acquire these capabilities, really shrinking down the timeline it would take to complete all the things that they wish to and to develop the tech that they want to. Hey guys, it's David with InvestQ, and a lot of the research and stock discussions actually happen in my free InvestQ community before the videos even come out. I post weekly CTM updates, quantum stock coverage, daily watch lists, and fast breaking news reactions throughout the week. And if you want to stay ahead of what I'm watching in the market, feel free to join the free InvestQ community. First link in the description below. It makes the process a lot faster, and speed is key, especially for businesses. Again, as they say, money loves speed, and in this fast-growing environment relating to artificial intelligence, this could help basically kill two birds with one stone, basically helping them move faster along with the fast markets such as quantum and AI, and get the tech that they want to develop it at a faster rate. Now, what investors need to be careful of, in my opinion, is the company. It didn't disclose purchase prices, acquisition targets, funding details, or expected timelines. That's important because without those details, it's difficult to determine the true impact on shareholders. So I'm not saying that they're necessarily hiding any details, but they didn't necessarily disclose the information either. So it's a little bit, I don't know if open-ended is the right word, but there's a lot more room for interpretation as to how shareholders view this article, because without, a specific timeline or transaction structures or funding details, there's lots of questions that are still going to be asked amongst investors. And one question that investors should ask, and honestly, not only should they, but they continue to ask because it is a big concern for investors in SEALSQ, is how will these acquisitions be funded? Basically, what in what way will they fund it? Because there's three ways that acquisitions get funded. Are they going to use cash? Because they do have a pretty big, they do have a lot of cash on hand, last I checked. Are they going to use debt, or are they going to go into more debt to complete this acquisition, or are they going to use stock, or is it going to be a combination of all three of these? Because if acquisitions require significant equity issuance, existing shareholders could potentially face dilution. And there's lots of concerns about dilution for SEALSQ. There's lots of people that ask that, and they have lots of concerns with it. And personally, for me, the next catalyst that I'm going to be looking at are acquisition targets, letters of intent, definitive agreements, funding announcements, and partnerships deals. And right now, the market currently has a headline that it has a headline right here. And again, just check out the original source with Benzinga. So, and again, Prophecy AI does all this. You can just open in the new tab. Because again, you don't want to just take my word for it. You want to actually look at the source as well. But without going on too much of a tangent, again, SEALSQ has got the headline, but there's some details that are still missing at the moment. And those details will ultimately determine whether the strategy actually creates value as time goes on. And what I find most interesting is that management appears to be thinking aggressively. Now, whether that ultimately benefits shareholders depends entirely on execution, but it's definitely something I'll be monitoring closely. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about the article and overall what your thought process is on SEALSQ. So again, and also comment below what it is you want me to cover in future upcoming videos, as I love giving the content that you guys want to see. But besides that, guys, stay safe, keep making good decisions with your long-term portfolios, and I'll see you on the next video.